together in this place and look in one another's face. You're so wonderful, so kind, so loving, so great. And God, if I had 1,000 tongues, I couldn't thank you enough.
Thank you, God. Thank you.
For all that you do.
Thank you, God.
We pray and ask now that you would let the words of our mouth and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight. O great God that you are. Put your hands together for Jesus. To all of you who have served this country on this Veterans Day, I want to extend to you my gratitude.
Amen. Amen.
For keeping this a safe place for us.
Thank you.
We praise your name for that.
Thank you.
And we thank you. Those of you with your Bibles, if you would, turn to the gospel recorded by Mark. St. Mark chapter number 6. Now I'll be reading from the Message Bible. Jesus left that place and came back to his hometown. His disciples followed him. On the Sabbath, he began to teach in the synagogue. Many who heard him were surprised. Where did this man get all this? What's this wisdom he's been given? What about the powerful acts accomplished through him? Isn't this the carpenter? Isn't he Mary's son and the brother of James and Joaz and Judah and Simon? Aren't his sisters here with us? They were repulsed by him and fell into sin. Jesus said unto them, prophets are honored everywhere except in their own hometown, among their relatives, and in their own households. He was unable to do any miracles there, except that he placed his hands on a few sick people and healed them. He was appalled by their disbelief. Just got back from the ball convocation, and it was a great experience. The theme was level up, shift your perspective to serve the present age and future generations. Shift your perspective to serve the present age and future generations. My takeaway from the convocation was this. Faith is the thing that unties the hands of God. The book of Mark is fascinating. In Mark, we see Christ calm the storm on the sea. Then we see him calm the storm in a human home. In Mark Gospel, you see a woman brought back to her dignity and a daughter brought back from the deep. The movements and activities in the book of Mark is fascinating. In our lives, we have many experiences, and the one place that we want to get to talk about and to tell about it. Where y'all going? Is home. Because there is no place like home. Home is the place where you can be free. Home is where you can be who you are. At home, you can be loved without criticism and accepted without judgment. At least that's what I thought. Some years ago, I had the contract to clean the air conditioning units for all of the Holiday Inns and Sheraton hotels between Greenville and Asheville. While in Asheville, we stayed at the Park Plaza Hotel, which was close to the home of Thomas Wolfe. I could hardly wait for the crews to get started work that morning so that I could go to the house of this great writer. As I made my way over to his house, I thought about the first time I read Thomas Wolfe, Look Homeward Angel. Anybody ever read that? In this book, Wolfe tells the story of his mother's death. There's a phrase that he used in the book which caused me to tremble. Wolfe says, home is the place where you can't return. That's a haunting phrase, a phrase that made me nervous, because when you're away from home, the only place you want to get back to and the thing that you long for is home. I remember leaving home at 18, and Hannah said to me when I walked out the door, be careful how you leave, boy. Because you might have to come back. Robert Frost talked about home in what appears to be a response to Thomas Wolfe. Frost said, home is the place where they have to take you in. In our text this morning, Jesus is on his way home to the ghettos of Jerusalem, to a little village outside named Nazareth. Mark chapter number 6 is year 2 in Jesus' ministry. Luke tells of Jesus going home on another occasion, and as he goes into the synagogue, he opens up the scripture to Isaiah 61 and begins and tells them, today the scripture will be fulfilled in your hearing. At that moment, the people began to get upset, and they concocted a plan to throw him over the hill and get rid of him. So Jesus had to get out of town as fast as he could. And here he is visiting again a year later, and Jesus is hoping that this visit will be different from the last visit. Verses 1 and 2a gives us the reason for Jesus' visit in the first place. Will y'all bear with me while I set this up? Yes. I say, will you give me a little time to set this up? Yes. Somebody say, set it up, Richard. Set it up, Richard. Number one, Jesus comes back to demonstrate to his own, to his kin, to his relatives, to his family, and to his friends, the patience of God. That even when we reject God's love, God still comes back. Oh, that's good all by itself. That the love of God is so compelling that he never stops coming after us. How many times has the Lord come your way, extending his grace towards you, and only to have you close the door of your heart and not let him in? And yet this text is tailored to teach us that Jesus patiently comes back over and over and over again. There are people in this room who God has repeatedly dealt with you in areas of your life. Amen. Not one time, not two times, not 2 or 3 months, but he's been dealing with you for a long time. Constantly coming and continually knocking on the door of your heart, saying, let me in. Now, according to the text, Jesus and his disciples are in the synagogue and Jesus is teaching. Now remember, this is not Jesus' first time in the synagogue. He preached his initial sermon a year earlier in the synagogue. Most initial sermons are met with appreciation and with applause. But when Jesus finished preaching his first sermon, it almost got him lynched on the outskirts of town. This text shows us how patient God is, and that even though they tried to lynch him the last time, he still came back. Francis Thomas is a fascinating young man. He lived in London, was a brilliant student, but he dropped out of school and took to the streets with liquor and drugs. After a life had gone down as far as it could have gone, one morning he ended up in a drunken stupor with his veins pumped full of drugs. Lying by the banks of the Rhine River, he said, I got to give in. I'm like a haunted animal. I thought it was the hounds of hell on my trail, only to discover that it was the hounds of heaven. Some of you know what I'm talking about. That the hounds of heaven will dog your every step. Everywhere you turn, everywhere you go, every move you make, God shows up. You go to bed, but you can't sleep because God shows up. You go to work and can't work because God shows up. You go for a ride and over in the passenger seat, next to the seat next to you is God. You try not to hear it, but he keeps breaking through your psychic. Everywhere you turn, God is there. You get up in the morning.